Hi, I'm John, here at the Book Farm. Today I have an advanced copy of the Fall-Winter 2024 Schiffer Military History Catalog. We release our books in 2 seasons per year. So there's a spring-summer release season and a fall-winter release season. And the front list is basically a term that refers to the books that are new for that release season. With that explained, I'm going to take you through the books one by one. So here's a closer look at the cover of the catalog. This image is from The Stand, which is a biography of Frank Luke. We'll get to that title later. And the titles, we're going to go through them in pub date order. The catalog front list is organized in ascending pub date order. So as we get further along through the titles, we're going further into the future in terms of our estimated pub date for the book. The first title is The Fighting Fathers by Alessandro Giorgi. And this is a history of Catholic militia groups in South Vietnam who were trained and funded by the American Intelligence Service, and they fought against the Viet Cong. This book is a sort of sister book to The Fighting Fathers, which is a book on similar Vietnam War espionage subjects, and it's by the same author, Alessandro Giorgi, who is an Italian, interestingly. Somewhat unusual for a Vietnam War book. So there's that. The next book is Dying Hard. Dying Hard is a history of a infantry company in the 9th Infantry Division during World War II. And this particular unit was in battles like the Hürtgen Forest, the Ardennes Forest. They were there at Remagen Bridge when the Allies first crossed the Rhine. And the unit suffered very high casualties. And this is really a personalized history. It's the author went to great lengths. He was really inspired by books like Band of Brothers to make this more of a personal story, where you got a feel for who the actual people in the unit were, what their backgrounds were, etc. So it's not just a dry, they went from here to here, and the weather was this, and there were this many casualties on that day. It's not like that. There are personal stories in here to make the book more engaging to the sort of layman. After that, we have a new book in the Legends of Flight series. This is on the Lockheed Constellation. I did another video kind of explaining the Legends of Flight series in more detail. Sort of look like that. And the Constellation is one of the not the most famous prop airliner of all time. Up next, we have King's Navy. And King's Navy is going to be a big book, both physically. It's going to be over 600 pages long, I think. And it's a big book in terms of my anticipation for it. The author, David Conan, is a veteran of both the Army and the Navy, interestingly. And he also has a PhD in naval history from King's College in London. And this book is a huge passion project of his. He's been working on it for a very long time. And there's a lot to this book. It's hard to explain it in a concise way, but I would describe it. It's both a biography of Ernest King, who was the leading officer in the U.S. Navy during World War II. And it's also kind of a history of the Navy from 1897 to 1947. And the author, his sort of core thesis of this book is the U.S. Navy reached the peak of its effectiveness during World War II, largely thanks to the efforts of not only Ernest King, but his mentor, William Sims. And this book, it's been getting testimonials from a lot of big names in naval history from all over the world, both in academic circles and in military circles, admirals, professors, and the like. And this is a really, really exciting title for us. And it's going through the editorial process now as we speak in design. Up next, we have The Stand, 2nd edition. This is a biography of Frank Luke. That's Frank Luke on the cover of the catalog there. And it is a 2nd edition of this book, The Stand, the Final Flight of Frank Luke Jr. And this book is sold out. It's one of our favorites on the Schiffer military imprint, so we definitely wanted to keep it in print. And we wanted to make some changes as well. And particularly, we wanted to change the trim size of the book. That book is 9 by 12, and it's a $70 book. And we wanted to make it a little bit of a handier size and get that price point down a little bit just to make it more accessible. And so we've got it at 7 by 10. It's still probably going to be over 500 pages long, and it's not going to be a cheap book. It's going to be probably $45. That's a significant difference compared to 70. Another really nice feature of the new edition, along with minor text revisions and fixes and updates, we have full color throughout the interior. There are a lot of images in this book, and almost 400. And in the original, they were all converted to grayscale, and we printed the book in black and white. This one's going to have full color throughout. There are a lot of modern images of battlefields and things like that, and the color actually, I think, adds something. Then we have a monster 3-volume history of Irma. Irma is the Erfurter Maschinenfabrik. It was a firearms maker in Germany. Probably most notable, they did a lot of wartime production during World War II, making rifles, handguns, machine guns, etc. And the author of this book, Holger Schmeyer, is a German firearms researcher. This book was originally published in German, but now it's being published by us in English for the first time. These books are all huge. The Volume 1 is going to be about 448 pages, 700 images. It covers like a corporate history of Irma and the rifles that were made there. Volume 2 is, as you can see, handguns. It's going to be probably 672 pages with over 1,200 images by itself. And then Volume 3 is machine guns, flare guns, some other accessories, odds and ends. And it's going to be about 272 pages, and it has over 300 photos, 330 photos itself. The Volume 3 will also have all the endnotes and appendices in it. So it's going to be important to have this. At least if you get one and 3, you'll have the endnotes and the appendices for Volume 1, etc. We really want people to buy all 3, of course, but to try to make this one book would be impossible. It'd be too big, and to sell it as a box set, it'd be crazy expensive. So there'll be 3 individual volumes for the first edition, and I believe we're getting towards the end here. So a lighter subject matter. We have Model Rocketry, 1960 to 1980, America's Hobby in the Cold War. This is not like a hardcore reference or instructional guide to making models or anything like that, or flying them. It's more just a nostalgic look with nice photography at a large collection of these vintage model rockets that were built and flown in that kind of golden age of model rockets and the space program, 1960 through 1980. I think people who maybe just flew models back in that period will find this quite nostalgic, but it's also good inspiration for budding model rocketeers of today. Then finally, we have 2 books that we did as a partnership with the Glenn H. Curtis Museum in Hammondsport, New York. And Glenn Curtis is an American inventor, best known probably for his actually aircraft designs, but he got his start with motorcycles. As you can see here, this is a history of all the motorcycle designs. Designed and produced by Glenn Curtis in Hammondsport. That's Glenn Curtis riding one of his motorcycles on the cover there. The author of this one, Rick Leisenring, is the curator emeritus at the museum. And the second book here is about the Aero Car. The Aero Car was an innovative trailer design that Glenn Curtis came up with, that had like a coupling in it. It was actually an airplane tire, like in a box, and that gave it some cushion and made the Aero Car a lot safer and more luxurious than the other trailer designs at the time. The Aero Cars were all different shapes and sizes. There were like commercial ones, private ones, and some of them were even like had like full living quarters, like a modern caravan or RV. And the author of this one is Andrew Woodmansey. He's an Australian RV expert who the museum partnered with to write the definitive history of the Aero car. That brings us to the end of the front list. The print catalogs will be here soon, and even sooner there will be a digital PDF flipbook catalog that you'll be able to view on schiffermilitary.com and schifferbooks.com. If you would like to order a catalog for yourself, a print catalog, you can do that on those same websites. You could also call us here at the office at 610-593-1777. You can get a catalog from us that way. And I hope you enjoyed this introduction to the titles. We're very excited about all of them. And thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.